Follow-up segment tonight. In a stunningly rare move, the White House calls NBC News out for unfair coverage of the president and the Iraq War. In a letter released Monday, White House counselor Ed Gillespie said, quote, "Is it still NBC News' carefully deliberated opinion that Iraq is in the midst of a civil war? If not, will the network publicly declare that the civil war has ended or that it was wrong to declare it in the first place?" Mr. Gillespie joins us now. So first, have you gotten any reaction?
We've gotten a lot of reaction, and some directly from NBC. Had a good conversation with Mr. Capus earlier in the week, and we had a concern about economic numbers and their treatment of government data, and he said that they don't have any reservations about government data, and they don't doubt them.
And what about the Civil War?
Well, the Civil War, that he said that they would take that into account, and that they would consider the request to make a public declaration as to whether or not they have deemed the Civil War to be over, or that they were wrong to declare it in the first place. And I point out this would be a good time, because when you see what's happening in Sadr City, you see the success in Basra, you see this government in Iraq led by Prime Minister Maliki of moderate Sunnis and moderate Shia routing extremist Shia and extremist Sunnis. This would be a good time, I think, for them to take a look at it.
I'm sure you know from watching this program that Bill has been reporting for more than a year on a pattern suggesting that NBC News basically panders to the left and is, in essence, in the pocket for Barack Obama. Why go on a venue like that to begin with?
Go on a venue like MSNBC?
Yeah.
I don't know. There are elements there who are clearly advocates for a candidate or a point of view, not even commentators really, or analysts. So I don't know why you would.
Do you think that the Bush administration is aware of the hostility from a lot of the media outlets toward the administration, the way it has been portrayed?
Well, we work with the media every day, and we work hard to get our message out. And I think most reporters try to be fair, but there clearly is.
Do you really think that most reportors try to be fair?
I think they
based
do
on the coverage you've seen.
Well, I'll tell you, I think they try to be fair, but I'm not sure that they always understand what fair means. and they're a little. I think the people that they talk to and the circles that they run in are sometimes out of step with where a lot of the populace is.
Well, you're being very kind, because we have Terry McAuliffe, former head of the DNC, and after one of the Democratic primaries, he came out and said that that he thinks NBC is in the tank for Barack Obama, and he said he felt Fox News Channel had the fairest coverage. Does the president get a fair shot on Fox News as well?
The president gets a fair shot. I said this. I'll say to you what I said to in my conversations with others, which is that when I go on to prepare for a program on Fox News, you prepare in the same way you do as you would on another network, and anticipate we get tough questions, but there is fairness and strive to be accurate. And I'm not saying, by the way, all the other networks don't. I'm saying that we had a specific concern with NBC. We raised it. We've asked for a response, and we anxiously await it.
Well, the factor investigations, though, show time after time when you could characterize a mission in Iraq as a success, it's kind of overlooked, whereas you take any failure and you hype it up. So based on that, do you think that it's fair for the American public to rely on reporters to give them the fair, unfiltered, accurate news, and then get perhaps someone's opinion?
Well, there was a time, Edie, when the Bush administration was and Republicans were accused of ignoring any sign of setback in Iraq, and that got a lot of coverage. This notion of that. I would suggest to you today that there may have been some. I don't think ignored it, but I think tried to emphasize the positive developments and aspects of what were going on there. But clearly, we have seen dramatic improvement in Iraq over since the surge really took effect. And yet, I think you would find a lot of congressional leaders on the Democratic side of the aisle have been unwilling or unable to acknowledge any sign of success in Iraq. And yet, you don't hear the same media drumbeat about that kind of dissonance. And so, I'm not sure that that's an even-handed treatment of the two views of Iraq.
Do you think that the administration, before the end of this term, is ever going to get a sort of a fair representation of what's going on in Iraq in the general media?
I think history will bear out
that says no.
The importance of. Look, I would say I think that for many people in the in the punditocracy have formed a conclusion about the president. I think it's a wrong one.
Does it bother him? Does it bother the president? I mean, he gets all the information. He knows what's going on. Does it bug him that people don't believe him sometimes?
Well, I think that would bother him. I think what he believes, and I think rightly, is that history will judge the importance of success in Iraq. And he gave a great speech today highlighting, why it is so important that Iraq be successful, that we have a stable, free government in the heart of the Middle East that's an ally in the war against terror. And I think that that history will prove that to be the case. I would say, those of us who work directly for him and see him every day and admire him immensely and have great personal affection for him, it's probably tougher on us than it is on him.
So, does he read the papers? If you
Sure.
get all of those things, or does he use it as a birdcage liner?
I'm not sure what he does after he's read them. But,
Mr. Gillespie, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, coming up.